Okay, and on to question 12. So 214 people go on a school trip. The people on the trip are either adults or children. There are 14 adults on the trip. 35% of the children on the trip are wearing a hat. Find the number of children on the trip who are not wearing a hat. Okay, so I will set this up. I will extract the information and I'll put it into a basic ratio table, I think. So we're going to go adults and children first of all. So we know that 14 of the people are adults. If we know that there are 214 in total, so we know that there must be 200 children on the trip. And then I'm going to split the children into hats, and we'll go H dash to stand for not hats. So I know that 35% of the children on the trip were wearing hats. So 35% of 200 would be 70, which leaves us with 130 students not wearing hats. Yeah, sorry, 130 children not wearing hats. Okay, and question 13, work out 5/8 of 132. So on a calculator paper, we can do this. 5/8 times by 132. So we're looking at 82.5 or 82.5. We'll go 82.5. Write the following fractions in order of size. Start with the smallest. I quite like these questions on a calculator paper because we can work out all of the values as a decimal really easily using the calculator. So that would be 0.375. 9 divided by 32 as a decimal would be 0.28125. 1/4 would be 0.25, and then 21 out of 64. The decimal would be 0.328125. If it was on a non-calculator paper, I would make these all fractions over the same denominator to compare the numerators. But on a calculator paper, we can compare the decimals really easily. So we're starting with 1/4 as the smallest. Our next smallest from that list then is 9 out of 32. Our next smallest is 21 out of 64. And then our largest fraction there is 3/8. Okay, and mark scheme then. So for question 12, it is suggesting, so 4 marks for this, right. It is suggesting a P1 mark for showing that 200 children, a P1 for the process to find the number of children wearing a hat, so that's P1, a P1 to find, so it's a process and then a second P1 for finding the number, and then an A1 for the 130. And question 13, we have got an M1 and an A1, so we'll go, I should really have shown exactly what I typed into my calculator, so 5/8 times by 132. And then that would get me the M1 clearer. Okay, and for part B, they're suggesting putting them all over 64, which would have been fine. I just think it's easier on a non-calc paper, on a calc paper to go decimal. So I'm going to go M1 and A1. Right, question 14. Here is a list of numbers. Write down the mode of these numbers. So which one happens the most? So looking at it, as they're in size order already, we can see that the number that happens the most is 3. Question 15. The box below contains 3 mathematical symbols: equals, less than, greater than. From the box, choose symbol to make each of the following statements correct. So 5/8 is bigger than 2/8, so we want that symbol there. And then -2 times by -3 would give us 6, and then -3 plus 9 would also give us 6, so we want an equal symbol in there. Okay, and the mark scheme then suggests we have got, which question was this? 14. B1 for 3. And then for the second one, it's just B1 for each. So B1 for that symbol and a B1 for that symbol. Okay, and 16. The graph shows information about the number of houses sold by an estate agent in each of 6 months last year. So we've got January, February, March, April, May, June. How many houses were sold by the estate agent in February? So February, we go there. From there, we would read across. So let's just zoom in on that. That's slap bang in the middle. So we have got each square is going to be worth, if the gap between them is 10, then each square in each step is going to be worth 2. So we're looking at 23 for that one. For this estate agent, write down the ratio of the number of houses sold in January to the number of houses sold in June. So January, so let's go Jan to June. So in Jan they sold 10, and in June they sold 56. So it doesn't ask us to simplify the ratio, although it's always good practice too. So I'm going to go 5 to 58, not 58, 28. And that's it for the page. So let's just zoom back out slightly. Right, and this is question 16. So for question 16, part A was a B1 mark for 23. And then we have an M1 mark is given for one or both of 10 or 56 identified. So we could pick up that M1 straight away there. And then it does actually say A1 for 10 to 56, although it's except equivalent, e.g. 5 to 28. So it didn't need to simplify, as we suspected. Right, question 17. Here is part of a bus timetable between Wigan and Bolton. How many minutes should the 7:20 bus take to go from Wigan to Lowestock? So the 7:20 Wigan, and I want it to Lowestock. So I want to go from 7:20 up to 8:09. So I'm going to do this. So I'll show you the way that I would tend to do this, and then I'll show you a method that we could do on our calculator, and I'm going to use that to check. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to chunk my way from 7:20 up to 9 minutes past 8. So I'm going to go 7:20 to 8 would be 40 minutes, and then 8 o'clock to 8:09 would be 9 minutes, so we've got a total of 49. And then if you remember it, you can do this on your calculator. You can type using the time function, so I can say that 8 hours and 9 minutes. My calculator's going my pen probably. Let me just switch pens. So 8 hours and 9 minutes, and I want to subtract 7 hours and 20 minutes. So that gives me 49 minutes. 0 hours, 49 minutes, 0 seconds. So there we go. Alison goes from Blackrock to Bolton by bus. One day Alison leaves her house at 8 o'clock. It takes her 7 minutes to walk to the bus stop at Blackrock. She takes 15 minutes to walk from the bus stop in Bolton to her work. Alison needs to be at work for 9:20. Will she be at work for 9:20? You must show clearly how you justified your answer. So the earliest she could possibly get to the bus stop would be, so if she leaves home at 0800, she would get to bus stop at 0807. So the earliest she can catch the bus stop from Blackrod then would be 9 minutes past 8, and she would be able to get that. So catches bus at 0809, and that bus would arrive at Bolton at 0858. So 0858. So that reaches Bolton, and then we need to add 15 minutes for her walk to work. So arrives at work at 15 minutes on from this time would be 0913. So would she be arrive at work before 9:20? Yes. So what does it ask? Will she get to work by 9:20? Yes. She will arrive at 09:13. Okay, and that is the only question on the page. So if we go to the mark scheme for question 17 now, we've got 1 mark for, so a method mark followed by an answer mark for part A. For part B, P1 for the process to find the time of arrival in Bolton. So okay, so let me just read that again. This mark is given for the process to find the time of arrival in Bolton. That seems like quite a far. Okay, so that's our P1 mark. So P1 mark for adding 15 to that. Actually, I've put that P1 in the wrong place. So P1 goes there, P1 goes there, and then C1 for yes. Okay, and question 18 then. So question 18, write down the 7th odd number. So the 7th odd number, in effect, you can do 7 times 2 minus 1. Or you could say first odd number is 1, second odd number is 3, third odd number is 5, and you could carry on all the way up to the 7th one, but either way we get 13. Write a fraction in the box to make the calculation correct. Okay, write a fraction in the box to make the calculation correct. Write a fraction. Okay, so 1 minus 3 over 10 would be 7 over 10. And I'm going to have to assume that that's what it means. I would have assumed that we should have had an equal sign there, but no major drama. Okay, question 20. Miles writes down the distance reading for his car at the start and end of a journey. Start of the journey, 12,468. End of journey, 12,845. Miles knows that the cost of petrol for the journey is 13 pence per mile. Work out the total cost of petrol used for this journey, giving your answer in pounds. So I'm going to do this. What I would type into my calculator is going to be the end journey, the end value minus the start value, and then I want to times that by the value for petrol in pounds, so 0.13. And that'll give us my cost for the journey. So I'm going to type it into my calculator like that, 12,845 minus 12,468, and then I want to multiply that by 0.13. So I'm going for £49.02. Seems quite a lot, but I can't see any issues. But then again, the journey that we're talking about is over 300 miles, so yeah, I guess that's right. Okay, so I'm looking at 49.01. And we'll go to the mark scheme then. So question 18. We pick up B1 mark for 13. For question 19, again, B1 mark for 7/10. And then for question 20, it's P1 for the process to find the number of miles for the journey. So we've got P1 there. It's suggesting P1 to find the total cost of petrol. I'm going to go B1 for converting pence to pounds. So P1 and then A1 for the 4 marks. And that brings us to question 20. So I'll stop the video there and start the third one shortly.